Well, hello there. This is Mark Idelman, speech language pathologist, and welcome to the teaching of talking. Today I have a really great video to share with you that will really help you understand more and more and more about aphasia and aphasia speech therapy. Now, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to educate you, and I hope that there are a lot of care partners, a lot of caregivers on this video, so that you will learn some of the basic fundamentals. You know, for too long, you all have been at Walmart instead of inside the therapy office. Now, I'm not saying that's true for everybody, and please don't take me the wrong way. But, you know, I've worked in rehab hospitals and outpatient rehab centers for years and years and years. And I know that one of the first things a care partner wants to do is to take off for an hour or two while her loved one is doing therapy, or vice versa, and get some things done, because sometimes it's pretty hard to get all those things done. But, you know, I want to encourage you that you want to be a part of the process. In fact, you are as important, if not more important, than the person with aphasia, because you're the one who lives with the person with aphasia, and you're the one who can help the person with aphasia most. Now, I got a letter from this morning from a care partner who said, I never realized that I was just as important as the therapist or anybody else. Yes, you are. You're as important, if not more so, than the therapist, because the therapist is only going to be with you up to a certain point in time, and then it's goodbye, Charlie. Okay? So, but that's not really even the point either. The point is that you're home, if you're a caregiver, you're home with the person who's got aphasia all day long and all evening. And there's so much you can do, And what this is all about empowering you so that you can be the most for your loved one. Okay, so we're going to talk today about memory. Memory. You know, everybody says, well, can you help my loved one talk? Well, yeah. You know, but as important as talking, there's something else that's important besides talking. It's their memory. Because, you know, I don't know about you, but, you know, I see patients day after day after day, patient after patient after patient after patient, and I'll stimulate something, and the first tendency for most people with aphasia is that once they've said it, they've forgotten it. I mean, they can say it, and goodbye, Charlie, it disappears. It disappears, and you know that. If you have a loved one with aphasia and you teach them something, or you might say to me, Mark, I'm his wife, and he's still not able to call me by my name. Okay? Or he still can't tell me his first name and his last name. Okay? Now, he may or may not have to, but here's the thing, memory, and I want you to emblaze this into your mind, into the top of your mind, the middle of your mind, and all through your body mind, and that is that memory is as important as the speech and the language. Memory is as important as the speech and language. So you got to remember that. All right? Because whatever you do with this person who's got aphasia, you have to take into account that they have usually severe memory deficits. All right? So you've got to work on the memory deficit as much as you do the speech. Now, I can just hear the words and the images that are going around in your mind right now as I've said that. You can say, well, look, Mark, heck, I got to clean the house, I got to pay the bills, I got to take him to therapy, I got to bring him home, or her, whoever it happens to be. I got to practice his physical therapy. I got to practice his occupational therapy. And now you're telling me I got to do this, and this. Well, the reality is that he's home or she's home. The reality is that you're with that person and you love that person, and nobody else is going to do it, and nobody else loves your husband or your wife or your loved one as much as you do. Okay, so this is something that's got to be done. So remember, first idea in this video is that you have to learn about immediate memory. It's not all about repeating words and saying words and starting with vowels, and that's part of it, and you've heard me on many of these videos talk about words and vowels and apraxias and language and things like this. But this concept, I want you to stop a minute and write this down. I want you to stop a minute and think, because most people, and a lot of even therapists, are not as keyed into the idea of how you're going to help someone remember the words. Okay, so remember that point. The first point is to remember that fostering memory for those with aphasia is as important as teaching them the words and phrases or sentences that they're going to say in conversation. And we have to have strategies. We have to have methods to teach you, the care partner, how to get the memory that's going to be needed so that tomorrow morning, when it's time for coffee, he says coffee. Or at lunchtime, if he's hungry, you're going to ask him what he wants, and he's going to say, I want some lunch. That's what my wife does with me. Okay? So, but the problem is that for many people with aphasia, they know what they want to say, but it's just not there. Okay? So we have to find a way, and that's what I've been working on, is finding a way to stimulate immediate memory. Okay, so that's called immediate memory. Okay, so there's 2 or 3 kinds of memories. There's really four kinds of memories. One is immediate memory. So if I said to you, my name is Moshe Mark. Okay, it's Moshe Mark, okay? So if I say that to you, and then I turn around and I say to you, what's my name? Okay? And if you've been listening, you'll say it. Now, that's called immediate memory. Okay? And if I say to you, tonight I'm going to the movies, all right? And I say that to you, tonight I'm going to the movies, and 2 or 3 seconds later, 4 seconds later, I might say, hey, where am I going tonight? And most people with an intact memory will say, that's easy, you're going to the movies, okay? But for the person with aphasia, they have difficulty with that task, okay? So, if they have difficulty with the immediate memory of one word, okay, then not only do you have to stimulate the word movie or coffee or whatever it is, but you also have to figure out a way how to get them to use their immediate memory to recall that particular word. Now, that's what we do with the teaching of talking. So with the teaching of talking, with a severe to profound problem, we start out with a single word, okay? So I might say, what's your name? Joe, okay? So what I'll start doing is I'll start using strategies for immediate memory, to facilitate immediate memory. for the word. So I've had a little challenge with this video. I keep getting interrupted, and you gotta remind me next time that when I make these recordings, I gotta put on Do Not Disturb because I'm getting disturbed. Mark, are you disturbed? Yes, I'm disturbed right now. But okay, let's get back. Okay, so if you're working on a single word, you've got to stimulate immediate memory. You've got to teach them immediate memory. Now, but it's not like some of the old, outmoded, decades-old therapy techniques that I was taught. We were taught about what they call confrontational naming, which I think is a big hokey-pokey, hocus-pocus, no-good therapy, okay? You take a bunch of pictures and you repeat them all the time. No, that's not. No. If a person's going to remember something, you have to put them in context. So if you want them to remember coffee, you want to be in the situation where they're giving them where you're giving them coffee, and you work on that immediate memory. So when we go through helping a person learn how to talk, we start at a single word. We make sure that they're able to say the single word. And then what we're able to do is we have strategies, and they're very good strategies, so that that person can recall that particular word. All right? Because they have to be able to do that. Because you don't want them just mimicking you all the time, even though that's okay. And I had a video about that. There are some who, no matter what you do, they have difficulty with recall. Okay? No matter what technique you use. But still, you can involve them in a conversation, but you just have to cue them. But if possible, as part of the therapy and a part of the fundamental goals of therapy is not only to teach the words, but also to facilitate the immediate memory. So there's immediate memory, and then there's short-term memory. So then you might ask me, well, Mark, what's short-term memory? Well, I went to a movie Tuesday night. Okay? Or you could say to me, well, Mark, what'd you have for breakfast this morning? Or you could say, Mark, what'd you have for lunch today? Now, that would not be immediate memory. That would be short-term memory. Okay? So once you get the immediate memory, then you have to start working towards short-term memory. Short-term memory is anywhere within like the last hour to the last day or two. That's short-term memory. So yeah, I went to see a movie Tuesday night, and I can tell you the name of it. I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but I can tell you the name of it. That's short-term memory, short-term. Now, long-term memory would be, who was your first girlfriend? Now, I know who that was. Her name was Jenny, okay? So that's long-term memory. But we're not concerned about long-term memory when we're working with aphasia therapy. And we're not worried about midterm memory, okay, of what happened a month ago or something like that. We're not even worried so much about a week ago. What we start out with is, if I show you something right now, not only do I help facilitate the name of the word, but I also facilitate the immediate memory for that word. So both the memory, the word, or the word, or the word and the memory, okay? You got to work on both. And you have to be thinking of both all the time, all the time. Now, I think aphasia is beatable as far as speech is concerned. Now, when you say beatable, you might say to me, well, Mark, what do you mean beatable? Okay. What I mean by beatable is Now, with many people who have aphasia, even the severe aphasias, if you work hard and long enough, and the person can imitate, and you also work on the immediate memory, then they can start talking. Now, it takes a long time to get them talking real well, but you can get them talking so that they can tell you what they want, what they need, where they want to go, what they thought of this, what they thought of that, what they thought of the dinner you made. I mean, there's a lot of things, okay? But you got to remember that with aphasia therapy, it's just one small little step. One small little step. You can't take any giant steps. So you first have to start with the word, then you have to start with the immediate memory for that word. The immediate memory for that word. You have to work on that just as hard as you do saying the word. Now, once they have immediate memory and you keep working with it, then what happens is that it goes a little deeper into the memory. And then they have short-term memory for that. So they remember it the next day. And then you keep working on it, and then it goes into longer-term memory or mid-term memory for maybe 2 days later, or 3 days later, or 4 days later. The point I wish to make, without, making it too complex, because I like to keep things real simple. The point I want to make is that with aphasia therapy, you have to learn about how to facilitate memory. It's as important as facilitating the person, how they say a word, if they say it clearly, whether or not they're saying one word or 2 words, whatever number of words it is, you've got to work on the memory just as hard and just as thoroughly as saying the actual word. Okay? So there's a lot to learn about this. I'm still learning about it, and I've been practicing over 45 years. And I'm still working almost full time with patients all over the world. And I'm still making distinctions, and I'm still working out ways to speed up the process if I can, or to speed up the memory, or to speed up recovery of speaking. And it takes that kind of focus. But not only does it take that kind of focus on the part of a therapist, it takes that part of focus on the part of a loved one. Because as many of you know, that I'm a proponent, and I believe from the very bottom of my heart that it's the care partner who really makes the difference between better speaking and not better speaking. You've got to learn this stuff. And it's not all that difficult, believe me, because I'll probably do a couple of interviews coming up with caregivers who can stimulate speech almost as good as I can. And you can too. So that's the story, Glory, for today. We talked about aphasia, and we talked about the subject of memory, especially immediate memory, and the fact that in any type of speech therapy for aphasia, you have to learn about what do I have to do to get immediate memory. And those are some of the things that we share with you when you decide to learn the teaching of talking. Thank you. This is Mark Idelman. Below the video here is, or above, I'm not sure. It depends how you read this. But with this video, you'll see a link to our website at teachingoftalking.com. And if you'll click on that with your finger or with whatever, or your pointer or with your mouse, it'll take you to the Teaching of Talking website. All right, that's our new website. There's plenty of videos in there and all kinds of things. And you're going to want to go down to the bottom of the page where it says, yes, I want to receive free videos and free blogs. So you're going to learn all about aphasia. You have to, really, if you're going to help your loved one speak better. And you want to click there, and you want to put in your name and your email address and whatever else it asks for. And then below that, there's another thing you click on, and that's a survey or a questionnaire that I'd like you to fill it out and send it to me. And tell me what your story is. Tell me what's happening with you and the person you love who's got aphasia. And let me know if you'd like some personal mentoring. Because let's face it, every famous person in this world, every famous athlete, every famous anybody has always had a mentor. You can't do this by yourself. It's impossible. I really think that. Okay? Nothing's really impossible, but your chances of succeeding are very, very high if you find an expert to work with you, whether it's me or anybody else. Find an expert, go hang out with them, learn from them, and then within a very short period of time, you'll be stimulating speech and language like a pro, and your loved one will start to talk again. This is Mark Idelman. Don't forget, click below. That'll take you to the website, teachingoftalking.com. And within that website, down at the bottom of each page, you'll see 2 bars. One bar is to be on our mailing list for videos and blogs. The other one is to fill out a questionnaire or a survey if you'd like me to help you, if you'd like to talk to me about what your concerns are. I can help set you straight, okay, on the right course. All right, so this is Mark Idelman, speech-language pathologist, wishing you a great day and hope to see you soon, okay? Bye-bye now.